Hello, hello, Pete's Packs here, and we're back with a fun one. I'm going to be doing a series this week of pre-release kits from Guilds of Ravnica. Now these have been shoved in a closet for the last 5 years. We're basically going to open each and see what I can build from them, and get a gauge of what had the best deck. So I'm going to be doing one kit per day, and I think we'll start off with the most aggressive one, which was Boros. So we have all 5 guilds with the seeded packs. So we've got Boros, well, 5 guilds from Guilds of Ravnica. We have Boros, Selesnya, Izzet, Dimir, Golgari. Yeah, Boros, Selesnya, Izzet, Dimir, Golgari. Yeah, that's all 5. So, without further ado, let's get into these. Oh, I will be going through these just like I would at a live pre-release. Not going to go for the full 50 minutes. That would normally be in a deck build, but we'll be coming up with more or less what I would come up with. So we have our nice Boros-themed red-white die to our collection. We've got our packs. Little insert for Boros Legion. We are the Boros Legion. And then it has a little pre-release deck building guide, which is cool. Put that off to the side. Let's see. So our seeded pack, I think I will bring this in some so that see these a little more clearly. Seeded pack has Swiftblade Vindicator on the front, an Elf Knight token here, which is a little odd, which has a code on the back. We'll add that to the stack of code. I do like that it's a token. I am a little annoyed that the code is on the back of a token, though. Add that to our stack of stuff to use for Arena. What the hell? That's not supposed to be like that. Hopefully these haven't been restuffed. Oh, I will be so pissed if these were restuffed. It looks like it was just cut. I don't remember if I bought these online or if I bought them in person. If I bought them in person, they're probably fine, and that was just a bad pack from the factory. If I bought these online, that's a little more questionable. We have a promo Swiftblade Vindicator, which admittedly is a fantastic card for sealed. We have Boros Locket, very strong. Integrity and Intervention, also very strong. Sealed. Demotion, great removal spell. Justice Strike, fantastic removal spell. Hammer Dropper, very strong card. Hunted Witness, good filler piece. Intrusive Pack Beast, interesting. Big Heart, Locksmith. So we're going to split these the way we would normally split them. For pre-release, multicolored, artifact. I'm going to have to pull the camera back so we can see all these. Got Skyline Scout. Good utility creature, Bargaining Sergeant. Decent aggressive creature, Sure Strike. Combat Trick, Wojak Bodyguard, which is a pretty solid card on its own. although it can't attack or block alone, and then we have a Boros Guildgate. Sometimes I put the lands with the artifacts, sometimes I don't. I pull up some, so we can hopefully see everything. So I normally sort by color first, then get an idea of what I'll be playing from there. Looks like we'll be able to just get this in view. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. Hopefully it's just a bad pack. So we've got Righteous Blow, Leapfrog, which was a pretty solid card. Got another Goblin Locksmith. Foragers, Burglar Rat, Darkblade Agent, Devious Cover-Up, Erstwhile Trooper, Sky Knight Legionnaire. That is a premium card for Boros. Concealed. If Whisper Agent, we'll probably end up in Boros, but we may end up in something else. Conclave Cavalier. Strong. Goblin Banneret, another premium card for what we're trying to do here. Glowspore Shaman and Camaraderie. We may be splashing green. And then we have another Boros Guildgate, very nice, and a token. So, hopefully that was just a bad seal on the pack, not one that had been tampered with. Cosmotronic Wave, good way of closing out games. Pack Beast, probably won't end up playing those, but cool idea. Generous Stray, which is actually just a very solid green card. Spinal Centipede, Notion Rain. Gravitic Punch, which is a really strong way of closing out games. Watcher in the Mist, Pause for Reflection, Price of Fame, good removal spell. We Dragonauts, Lotless Giant, very strong. And we have Niv Mizzet, Perun. That may actually move us more towards a Jeskai strategy, and we have a foil Boros Guildgate, very nice, and a Golgari Guildgate. So we now have 3 Guildgates in our theme color. It is always a good sign. Alright, another Leapfrog. Fearless Halberder. Sworn Companions. Maximize Altitude, strong way of passing around evasion. Very Occupy, Dowser of Lights, Pause for Reflection again. Rosemane Centaur, very strong one. Garrison Sergeant, which is very strong, especially with how many gates we have. Deadly Visit, another great piece of removal. Justice Strike, a second one, another great piece of removal. Smelt Ward Minotaur, which is a fantastic utility creature. Wand of Vertebrae. Interesting. Utility card there. Citywide Bust. That could be very strong in this. Another Golgari Guildgate. Night. 2 more packs. So far I'm really liking the idea of, partially because of the Niv Mizzet, but also because of the utility cards that we've pulled, being primary Izzet in this, and then splashing for some of our more premium removal cards. Torch Courier, which is a strong utility creature. Another Hunted Witness. Unexplained Disappearance. Very strong. Brawl Foragers. Excuse me. Moodmark Painter. Okay, Dead Weight, another great piece of removal. We've got some fantastic removal in black. Undercity Uprising, which is just very strong. We have Parhelion Patrol, another great white creature. Boros Locket. So we have 2 Boros Lockets now. Chemster's Insight. Be very strong. Beam Splitter Mage. Interesting. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control one or more other creatures that spell could target, choose one of those creatures, copy that spell, the copy targets the chosen creature. That is very powerful, especially with some of the things that we have, such as Maximize Altitude, which we have more than one copy of. Pilfering Imp. Dream Eater. Wow. This is one of the just super bombs in the set. And an Is It Guildgate to feed into it. And we get a nice Vraska emblem. Okay. So this is really pushing me towards blue-red with a splash of white. We will see what our last pack brings. We have another Torch Courier. Hunted Witness, number 3. Vidalcan Mesmerist. Can be interesting. Fearless Halberder. Pax Favor. Veiled Shade. Iron Shell Beetle. Rosemane Centaur. Garrison Sergeant, which is our second Garrison Sergeant. Muse Drake. Nice flyer. Necrotic Wound. Another fantastic piece of removal. Thought Erasure. Very strong card. Sprouting Renewal. Experimental Frenzy. Whoa. That could be very strong with our plans. And a Demir Guildgate. The Soldier Token. Oh, this is a tough one. Alright, so let's look at what we have in each of our colors and see where we want to go from here. So our green appears to be our weakest color. So let's pull all of our green X stuff out. Rosemane. You have a Camaraderie, which is very strong. Enclave Cavalier, Glow Shaman, Erstwhile Trooper. So we're already leaning heavily into red because it is one of our seed colors. But you never know, green-black might be our thing. Erstwhile Trooper, which is a meaty threat that happens quickly. Glowspore Shaman helps with our mana fixing. Conclave Cavalier is strong and also produces extra bodies. Camaraderie, which can go along with that. Rosemane Centaur. Convoke Threat. Undercity Uprising. Good way to close out things. Another Rosemane Centaur. Sprouting Renewal, which is a quick way to make a 2/2. Iron Shell Beetle passes around things. Pax Favor. Brawl Foragers is very strong. It's a good way to break parity later on. Pause for Reflection. So we got 2 of those. Those are effectively fogs. Occupy. Generous Stray, and a second Crawl Foragers. So we've got some interesting life gain here, and a lot of X4 bodies, but I don't know that this really does what we want it to. Like, I'm sure there's an argument here for an Abzan deck, but a whole lot that I'm seeing there that I really want, though. So, let's see, we've got Necrotic. Oh, let's pull our black next. We've already seen some things in there, but we've got Notion Rain. We've got Darkblade Agent. We've got Thought Erasure. We also have 2 Golgari Guild Gates to go with black-green. Probably won't end up using those. So we can put that with the rest of our green. I think we can pretty much cut green out at this point. Because yeah, it's got some good stuff, but I don't know that it has enough good stuff, especially considering our fixing with blue and, well, our fixing with red, blue, white there. So we've got Thought Erasure, which, while very strong, not very strong in draft, or sealed rather. As long as you've surveilled this turn, Darkblade Agent has Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay, that can be very strong. We have Notion Rain, which is very good for Surveil. So we've got 3 very strong Surveil-centered cards. And we've got Necrotic Wound, which is fantastic removal. We have Veiled Shade, which is so-so. I think it's a B+. Pilfering Imp. 1 mana flyer. 2 and sacrifice a target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land permanent card from it. That player discards the card. Activate only. Okay, so their discard spell. Deadweight is fantastic removal. Moonmark Painter. Be useful for closing out games. We've got Deadly Visit, which is fantastic removal. Dowser of Lights is trash. Lotless Giant, one of the best big creatures in the set. Price of Fame, more premium removal. Spinal Centipede, just mediocre. And then Burglar Rat, which is pretty solid. So our Deadly Visit's probably a little too cute. So we have a few splashable cards. Like Price of Fame is just fantastic removal. If we play black, we'll definitely be splashing this and Lotless Giant, possibly Deadweight and Necrotic Wound as well. And then if we're going into the creatures, probably... I don't know about Darkblade Agent, because we don't have a whole lot of Surveil, but Notion Rain is also very strong. So... we will put... definitely put those in our maybe pile. Dowser of Lights and Spinal Centipede are in the definitely not pile. These are also in the maybe pile, but Markwood Painter's too hard to cast. Deadly Visit, unless we're heavy in black, we're probably not doing, but we'll consider. Double costs are fine. And these are just a little too cute unless we're heavy in black. But we've already firmly established that we probably, like, we almost definitely want to be in red. There's very little opportunity cost for us being in red. It's just figuring out if we want to do red, white, blue, red, white, black, red, blue, black, blue, red, or white, red. We almost certainly don't want to go just red, black. So let's look at what we have here. So we've got 3 Hunted Witnesses, which are just a very solid 1-drop. Parhelion Patrol is fine. Citywide Bust is tempting because it's mass removal. I have a lot of token creation here. Intrusive Pack Beast is probably a no, but we've got some premium removal with Demotion. Righteous Blow is solid. Skyline Scouts goes along with the flying theme. Take Heart, I think, is just not what we're looking for here. And 2 Intrusive Pack Beasts. I mean, a 3-3 for 5 is just not a good enough rate in this set. Sworn Companions probably isn't right either. It's like, realistically, we've got 3 Hunted Witnesses, which are great for a sack theme, but we don't really have a sack theme to speak of here. Parhelion Patrol is very solid flying. And then we've got Skyline Scout, which enables flyers, Demotion, and Righteous Blow. Those are our big potential white cards. And then we've got all this other stuff that goes along with that. It's our red-blue. Citywide Bust is also a maybe. But Justice Strike we almost certainly want to play, because there's almost no cost to it. Garrison Sergeant is absolutely fantastic. So Sky Knight Legionnaire and Swiftblade Vindicator. Integrity and Intervention is fantastic. Hammer Dropper also just very strong. It's a good way to mentor your creatures, although it does die pretty easily. And then a second Justice Strike. So we're almost definitely playing blue-white. And now the question is, do we also want to play red with, or not blue-white, red-white. Now the question is if we want to play blue along with that, which, considering we have both Dream Eater and Niv Mizzet, probably. So it looks like we're going Jeskai as a result. Because of that, I think we can comfortably drop the black out of contention. And that's just based off of, like, we're almost assuredly at least going red-white. The question is if we want to have something else with that. As such, we can drop the Dimir Guildgate. We do want to have at least 4 gates to go along with our 2 Garrison Sergeants, and we have that with the Boros Guildgates and the Izzet Guildgate. We may consider running a Dimir Guildgate just as an extra gate. We have 2 Lockets, which are very strong, so we may want to consider skipping our 4s into 5s, which we have several 4s, so that is additional fixing. Wand Vertebrae is Wand of Vertebrae is probably a little too cute for what we're doing here. That's our blue-red stuff. All right. So let's start looking at stuff. Fearless Halberder, it's a 3-2 for 3. It's just not good enough. So we can drop that. Drop the second one. Galvanic Punch is interesting, as is Cosmotronic Wave. We've got 2 Torch Couriers. Goblin Banneret is absolutely getting played. Consider the Torch Carriers. They're very strong, even though they don't really seem like it. Wojek Bodyguard is very good. I do like the Smelt Ward Minotaur. It's very disruptive overall. And then Barging Sergeant is very strong with the Mentor and Haste. And Sure Strike is a potential trick. Smelt Ward. Goblin Locksmith is a maybe. Like a 2-1 for 2 is not a great rate, but it is something to consider. And we're almost assuredly playing Experimental Frenzy. It's just so powerful in sealed. It's powerful across the board, but especially in sealed. Let's look at our blue. Muse Shrake is mid. Mesmerist is mid. Chemster's Insight is very strong. Unexpected Disappearance is pretty strong. Maximize Altitude is pretty good. Leapfrogs are a lot better than they look. Radical Idea is pretty strong. Water in the Mist is fairly strong, but it's also double blue, so I don't know that that's really what we want to be doing. Whisper Agent. Like, it is nice that it has flash, but also I think probably not where we want to be. Devious Cover-Up. That's not where we want to be. Leapfrog, very good. And then maybe the Mesmerist. I think the Muse Shrake is just going to be too cute for what we're trying to do. So, where does that put us creature-wise? At first pass. So I generally want to make sure that I have at least 10 creatures to begin with. Those are not creatures. Those are in our removal slots. Also in blue, we have Niv Mizzet and Dream Eater, which I think are going to top out our top end. Beam Splitter Mage is very strong, so is We Dragonauts. So we will consider those. Parhelion Patrol and Skyline Scout we will consider. And the rest of this is in our removal and other spells pile. This is very cluttered overall, but all right. We have 4 gates, possibly 5. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on the locksmiths to begin with. Then we're gonna start basically building out our curve. All right, so we've got 2 6-drops. That's going to be the entirety of our top end, more than likely. 2, 4, 3, 2, 5, 3, 1, 1, 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, 5, 2, 3, 3. Okay. So we have 7, 12, 14, 17, 19 creatures right now. That's a little high. Alien Patrol, Flying Vigilance, Mentor. Let's see. I think we can actually drop the Barging Sergeant. I don't know that that necessarily gets us where we want to be. 3/3 Double Strike is very strong. Definitely want the Banneret. I don't know if we need 2 Torch Carriers. I'm really not feeling the Mesmerist. I don't think we need the second Leapfrog. It's good, but I don't think it's quite where we need to be. We're probably playing 17 lands here. Alright, so let's see where we're at. We have 10, 16 creatures. We're playing 17 lands. That gives us space for 7 spells. So we definitely want to be playing the Frenzy. Integrity Intervention is There, we got 2 Justice Strikes that we're absolutely playing. So that's 4 already of our 7. And then our Jumpstart stuff is very, very powerful. Gravitic Punch is a good way to break parity later on, and it has Jumpstart. I don't know that Demotion... Yeah, Demotion just makes it so things can't block. I don't think we're playing Citywide Bust. Granted, how many creatures do we have with toughness 4 or more? We have... We don't have any other than Niv Mizzet. Now that I look at this. We may want to consider running Citywide Bust just as a gotcha to break parity later on. I like that idea. We can drop Demotion and Righteous Blow. I really like Radical Idea. Smelt Ward. Minotaur also just didn't end up in for some reason. Cosmotronic Wave can just end games on its own sometimes, but I do think we need to consider some of these other cards in its place. Huh. So we got the 2 Maximize Altitude. Disappearance, Chemist's Insight, Radical Idea, Cosmotronic Wave. We were really heavy on our 4 slot. So, let's see. We do want to cover a lot of instants and sorceries because of Niv Mizzet. And we want to consider our Boros lockets as well. So where are we at? We want to be at 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31. So we need to make 8 cuts. Question is, how deep into blue do we want to be? Niv Mizzet really pushes us hard to going deeper into blue. And Dream Eater pushes us fairly deep too, and we don't have a whole lot of blue fixing. We have the Guild Gate. Luckily, a lot of our white is free, effectively. And if we don't run Citywide... Like, Citywide Bust just seems like a fantastic option here because of everything that it gives us. I like the 2 Boros lockets. So if we don't do blue at all, where does that put us? I think that actually just gets us really close to where we want to be, unfortunately. Yeah, if we don't run blue at all, this is something you should always check if you end up going into 3 colors. It's like, yes, there's some cool stuff I can do in 3 colors, but does that make sense? Especially when you have as many cuts that you need as we do. So we've got 9. We can cut 9 if we do blue. If we just remove blue entirely. Let's pull all our gates too. I don't think we had any other gates that made sense there, but yeah. Dream Eater is just so good though, and so is Niv Mizzet. But it's really hard to justify those costs considering how deep into red-white we are. And red-white is effectively free for us. If we run the Barging Sergeant, how does that make us look? We'd have 1, 2, 3. Oh, Beam Splitter Mage is in here too. There's actually 10 cards. So we would add in one more. Probably like Demotion. Or one of the locksmiths. So the rest of our white. Maybe even a couple of Hunted Witnesses. Okay. We'll put the Demotion to the side for now. So we've got 3, 7. This is really heavy on 3s and 4s, but we also have ramp into our 4 slot. Probably want to add in some of those Hunted Witnesses, actually. So 3, 7, 13, 19, 22. With just a lot of removal. How many creatures would we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's not a terrible number of creatures either. We'd probably add in Hunted Witness to bring us to 14 creatures, 17 lands, 4 of which are gates. Yeah, I think this is where we would end up, actually. So, cutting blue, which breaks my heart because Niv Mizzet is just so much fun, and Dream Eater is so good. I think we would get there better with what we have, just the sheer amount of removal and overall good stuff. We would get there better with this. Like maybe swapping Sure Strike in over over like Cosmotronic Wave. But I think this would be our main shell, and then you tweak your 2 drops and whatnot. Yeah, I think that gets us there. Really like the garrison sergeants. I especially like that they get mentored off of the barging sergeant. And also at 5, you can double Goblin Banneret to mentor them as well. Which the Goblin Banneret is just premium early stuff. Like if you can go turn 1 Banneret, turn 2 Torch Courier, or something along those lines, so you can buff your Banneret as you go. That's just so powerful. Well, this has been a bit longer than I expected. Thank you for joining me on this adventure to the Guilds of Ravnica. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you would have built down in the comments, because this was kind of a tough one. Yeah, as always, until next time, stay awesome, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.